football's biggest controversies are exploding. Manchester City faces UEFA sanctions for a controversial training session ahead of their massive Champions League clash with Real Madrid. Meanwhile, Pep Guardiola admits the task is massive for Manchester City to come back against Real Madrid in the Champions League, but he believes it's still possible. And in a shocking development, Oliver Holt argues Chelsea's titles deserve an asterisk due to financial chicanery, questioning the leniency of their punishment while Manchester City faces 115 charges. We also revisit Arsenal and Manchester City's greatest League Cup victories. All this and more, right here, right now. Make sure you're subscribed and the notification bell is on.
Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Arsenal and Manchester City's League Cup legacy. Remember the thrill of the Carabao Cup? We're diving deep into the archives to relive the greatest League Cup victories for both Arsenal and Manchester City. From stunning upsets to dominant performances, we'll showcase the moments that define these clubs in the League Cup. Get ready for a nostalgic trip through EFL history. Fans are already debating which of these iconic wins stands as the ultimate triumph. Who had the more memorable journey to glory? Don't go anywhere, the drama is just heating up. Next, we're uncovering why Manchester City might be in hot water with UEFA over a cancelled training session. Manchester City's UEFA training session stumble. Manchester City could be facing serious disciplinary action from UEFA after cancelling a crucial training session that was scheduled to be filmed by broadcasters worldwide. Pep Guardiola's decision to give his players a day off before their Champions League second leg against Real Madrid meant only captain Bernardo Silva was present at the Etihad training ground for media duties. This move, made at short notice and without prior approval from UEFA, appears to be a breach of regulations. UEFA's Article 78 mandates that clubs must provide media access to at least 15 minutes of team preparation, even if it's just a stadium walk-around, if a full training session isn't held. City did provide footage from a previous session, but this seemingly wasn't enough to satisfy the governing body's broadcast contract requirements, which are worth billions annually. Guardiola cited the team's demanding schedule, including travel and recent matches, as the reason for prioritizing rest. Midfielder Bernardo Silva supported the decision, emphasizing the need for players to rest and clear their minds. However, the potential for UEFA sanctions looms large, adding another layer of pressure to their already challenging Champions League tie. But the challenges for Manchester City don't stop there. Up next, Pep Guardiola opens up about the massive task ahead against Real Madrid. Guardiola's massive task against Real Madrid. Pep Guardiola has admitted that Manchester City faces a massive challenge as they attempt to overcome a daunting 3-0 deficit against Real Madrid in the Champions League. After a heavy defeat in the first leg at the Bernabeu, City must produce one of the greatest European comebacks in the second leg at the Etihad Stadium to progress. Despite the daunting odds against the 15-time European champions, Guardiola remains hopeful, stating that everything can happen in a football game. He emphasized the need for a perfect display across all departments, urging his team to be clinical in front of goal and solid in defense. Guardiola drew inspiration from City's dramatic comeback against Aston Villa in the 2021-22 season, where they scored 3 goals in 12 minutes to secure the Premier League title. He believes that taking risks and maintaining belief, even if the first half doesn't go as planned, is crucial. Captain Bernardo Silva echoed his manager's sentiments, stressing that the team will fight until the end, and that this sport has taught us that a lot of things can happen. The team's preparations have been unconventional, with Guardiola opting to give players a day off before the match, a decision that could potentially lead to UEFA censure due to media access obligations. Guardiola, however, prioritized player rest, believing that in modern football, rest and understanding tactics are more beneficial than repetitive training sessions given the packed schedule. And speaking of club reputations and punishments, we're diving into a controversial take on Chelsea's titles. Get ready for a debate on asterisks and lenient sanctions next. Chelsea's titles under fire, an asterisk needed. In a fiery opinion piece, chief sports writer Oliver Holt argues that Chelsea's past title victories deserve an asterisk, questioning the leniency of the Premier League's punishment for their financial transgressions between 2011 and 2018. While acknowledging the new ownership's self-reporting and the 9-month academy ban and suspended first-team transfer ban, Holt deems the £10.75 million fine a tiny tap on the wrist and a drop in the ocean for a club of Chelsea's stature. Holt draws a stark contrast with the ongoing situation surrounding Manchester City's 115 charges, suggesting that if City is found guilty, a more severe penalty would be expected. He questions the Premier League's handling of time in relation to financial rule breaches, noting that Chelsea's transgressions occurred long enough ago to be considered ancient history by some. The article highlights that Chelsea won major titles, including a Champions League and 2 Premier League crowns, with players potentially acquired through illicit payments, raising questions about competitive fairness. Holt points out that other clubs, like Manchester United, reportedly missed out on signings due to demands for secret payments, further emphasizing Chelsea's potential advantage. The piece suggests that the Premier League may have boxed themselves into a corner by issuing such a lenient punishment to Chelsea, potentially setting a precedent that could influence the outcome of the Manchester City case. The debate centers on whether past glories should be reevaluated when significant financial misconduct is revealed, and whether the passage of time should diminish the severity of the consequences. That's a lot to digest, but we're not done yet. Stick around for a rapid-fire recap of all today's top stories. And that's a wrap on today's explosive football news. We saw Manchester City facing potential Uefa sanctions, Pep Guardiola's daunting challenge against Real Madrid, and a fiery debate over Chelsea's title legitimacy. Plus, we reminisced about Arsenal and Manchester City's League Cup triumphs. Don't miss out on any of the action. Smash that like button, subscribe for more, hit the notification bell so you never miss an update, drop a comment with your thoughts, and follow us on all social media platforms for behind-the-scenes content.